content only one sitting. Okay, one sitting is ready. Salam Habibi, how are you? I hope you are fine. It is me, Michaela de Santa, and welcome to our channels. Now, accordance with titles, today we are roasting Tulsi Gabbard. Now, recently, 6 days earlier, Tulsi Gabbard's brief her details that how much work Tulsi Gabbard does. But now, here our today's point is about the Strait of Hormuz. Recently, uh, uh, Iranian terrorists released her points that if both of United States of America and Israel would continue to attack on so Iranian terrorists would attack on submarine cables. It is the brief of Iranian terrorists. I don't know that how is the credibilities, but now here today we are roasting Tulsi Gabbard in the topic of Strait of Hormuz, where the point is Benjamin Netanyahu versus Tulsi Gabbard. Okay, now here the first of all, here we can see that why I am roasting Tulsi Gabbard. Here I would see you, but now here I would visualize the points as my returns. Now here we can see uh, this here topic is Strait of Hormuz. Here now it is the topic of Strait of Hormuz. Now here I would write distance. What is the distance? Distance here Tel Aviv to Bandar Abbas. Now here we are talking about F-16 fighter planes. Fighter plane. Here Tel Aviv to Bandar Abbas distance is 2200 kilometer. On the other hand, here when departure is Texas, USA to Bandar Abbas S1. What is the distance? That is 15,000 kilometer. Okay. From Philippines. Okay, brother. Love you. Now, here problem is when Netanyahu F-16 plane velocity is to 2200 kilometer per second. Here Tulsi Gabbard. Well, Tulsi Gabbard F-16 plane velocity is almost 50 kilometer per hours, and that is the problematic we could see. And now, well, now here we have mentioned that when Benjamin Netanyahu's F-16 plane velocity is 2200 km per second, Tulsi Gabbard F-16 fighter plane velocity is 50 km per hour. And here the topic is simple. And here I would mention what is the meaning of that points. Well, Netanyahu's plane velocity is 2200 km per second. But now here point is distance between Tel Aviv, Israel versus Bandar Abbas is 2200 kilometers. What is the meaning? The meaning is uh, Benjamin Netanyahu's F-16 fighter planes can travel 2200 kilometers in 1 second, where departure time is morning 6 o'clock, March 30, 2026, and arrival time would be morning 6 o'clock, 1 second past, March 30, 2026. But what about the Tulsi Gabbard's F-16 fighter plane's velocity? Here, Tulsi Gabbard's F-16 fighter plane velocity is almost 50 km per hour. But now, uh, the departure, the flying distance between Texas of United States of America to Bandar Abbas of Iran is 15,000 kilometers. Then what is the meaning of the points? Now let's calculate 15,000 divided by 50. That means 1500 divided by 5. That is 300. That means here Tulsi Gabbard F-16 fighter planes can travel 15,000 kilometers in 300 hours. And now let's check it. What is 300 hours? Okay, now here we can mention that. Now let's find out as both of you and me. Okay. Now here we can see 300 divided by 12. Well, now 12 multiplied by 10 is 120. 12 multiplied by 20 is 240. Okay. Now 25 multiplied by 12 is 250 sum by 50. That means 30. That means here we can notify it is almost 25 days. Okay. Now here is the points. 30 sum by 25 is 55. 55 subtract by 31 is 24. That means here we can see the points when Tulsi Gabbard F-16 fighter planes would depart Texas, the capital city of Texas provincial state of United States of America, at morning 6 o'clock, March 30, 2026. He would arrive Bandar Abbas, the port of Iran, at March at the April 24, 2026 at the evening 6 o'clock, and that is the moment. And here now let's see that how Netanyahu's F-16 fighter plane is superior than Tulsi Gabbard F-16 fighter planes, and it is the problematic of for the I mean it is the problematic for Netanyahu because uh, the problematic is that when Tulsi Gabbard's F-16 fighter planes would arrive Bandar Abbas, the port of Iran, in the delay of 25 days, here Iranian revolutionary terrorist, Iranian revolutionary naval terrorist would be prepared in 25 days to attacks against Tulsi Gabbard's F-16 fighter planes. But what about Benjamin Netanyahu's fighter planes? Here, when Benjamin Netanyahu's fighter plane is with the velocity of 2200 km per second, Tulsi, in that moment, Iranian revolutionary naval terrorist contains no clue to get a preparation time to escape the attack from Israeli F-16 fighter planes. And in these moments, now 25 days is a significant delays, and it is the probable times that in the next future times, Netanyahu would sue Tulsi Gabbard on the international court. And what is the case? Because the case would be Tulsi Gabbard did not assist Netanyahu to eliminate Iranian revolutionary naval terrorist on Bandar Abbas, the port of Iran, nearby Strait of Hormuz. And now, here is the point that why Strait of Hormuz is significant necessary. Because here we can see when a Strait of Hormuz would be controlled by Iranian revolutionary naval terrorists. Now it is the significant problems. The first problem is we contains here we contains the first problem. The first problem is here when we want to connect our foreign friends with one country to another countries, we need an submarine cables. Now, when we need a submarine cables, here Iranian revolutionary naval terrorist is desire to attacking the submarine cables nearby Strait of Hormuz. Now, when the Strait of Hormuz is controlled by Iranian revolutionary naval terrorists, here is the problems. We contains the significant internet problems in Dubai, in Qatar, in Arabian Gulf, nearby Saudi Arabia, and Qatar and Bahrain. And that is this. We can see we could not connect each other. Okay, now the secure connection between Saudi Arabia and the rest of the world, it is necessary for both of Netanyahu and Tulsi Gabbard that Strait of Hormuz would be controlled by Sunni Islamic Alliance, particularly Strait of Hormuz would be controlled by both of United States of America and Israel. And in these points, Netanyahu needs a Strait of Hormuz. But what is the point? The point is Tulsi Gabbard F-16 fighter plane's velocity is 50 km per hour. Hence, in the flying distance of 15,000 kilometers, Tulsi Gabbard planes would arrive Bandar Abbas in 25 days. where Netanyahu needs United States F-16 fighter planes with the velocity of 15,000 km per second. And, uh, and in this conflicts, here somehow our honorable Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is angry on United States National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard. And in this point, in the International Judiciary Court of Geneva or International Judiciary Courts in London, here Tulsi Gabbard would be probably sued by our honorable Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, because Benjamin Netanyahu is angry on Tulsi Gabbard. Okay, and now it is about F-16 fighter planes velocity. Okay, but now let's talk about here F-16 fighter planes velocity we have mentioned. Now let's mention that what is the points of kinetic energy. Now let's talk about ne, ta, ni, a, hu, kinetic energy. What is Netanyahu kinetic energy calculations? Here I would see the points. But first of all, let me tell you, here Netanyahu's half of weight of F-16 fighter planes is 10 to the power 5 kilograms. It does not matter if uh, F-16 fighter planes would be owned by Benjamin Netanyahu, the honorable Israeli Prime Minister, or Tulsi Gabbard, the United States National Intelligence Director. And now let's talk at the points. When we know they had equations of kinetic energy is half of weight of F-16 fighter planes multiplied by distance square divided by flying time cube. But here when we are talking about Benjamin Netanyahu, so Benjamin Netanyahu F-16 fighter planes kinetic power equations is half of weight of Benjamin Netanyahu F-16 fighter planes multiplied by distance square. On the other hand, here half of Tulsi Gabbard's F-16 fighter planes equation is half of weight of Tulsi Gabbard F-16 fighter planes multiplied by distance square divided by travel time cube. Okay, and here we can see that is the significant moments terms at the points. Okay, now here let's talk about our points. Here calculations of Netanyahu F-16 fighter planes is 10 to the power 5 multiplied by 22 square multiplied by 10 to the power 5 square. And now here we can see the points. What is 22 square? We know that 484, and it is the significant points. What is 10 to the power 5 squares? Here we would tell the letters. But now, what is multiplication between 10 to the power 5 square by 10 to the power 5? That is 10 to the power 5 cube. And what is 10 to the power 5 cubes? That is 10 to the power 15. And now we got the Netanyahu's kinetic powers to be 484 multiplied by 10 to the power 15 watts. That is here 484 billion megawatt. 484 billion megawatt. But now it is the points here to her Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay, and now here we can see that what is the points of Tulsi Gabbard? Well, Benjamin Netanyahu needs United States F-16 fighter planes where flying distance is 15,000 kilometers and the flying velocity is 15,000 kilometers per second. Hence, what would be the points of kinetic United States kinetic powers? Here, United States kinetic powers calculation is 10 to the power 5 multiplied by 15 square multiplied by 10 to the power 6 square. Okay. Now what is 10 to the power 6 square? That is 10 to the power 12. What is the multiplication between 10 to the power 6 square and by 10 to the power 5? That is 10 to the power 12 multiplied by 10 to the power 5. That is 10 to the power 17. And here, what is 15 square? That is 225. And here, we can say the Netanyahu desiring United States F-16 fighter planes kinetic power would be 225 multiplied by 10 to the power 17 watts. That means 22.5 trillion megawatts. But now, how? The problem is, what is the required of Tulsi Gabbard? And here we can see Tulsi Gabbard. Let's see what is the calculation of Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard calculations is, well, 10 to the power 5 multiplied by 15 square multiplied by 10 to the power 6 square divided by bracket of 50 cube multiplied by 3600 cube. Okay, and now here we can see the points. Well, what is 36 cube? That is 6 to the power 6. Okay, and here we can condense the calculations like 225 e 17 divided by what is 5 cube? That is 125. And what is 36 cube? That is 6 to the power 6. Here we can see 6 to the power 6. And what is here 10 cube? That is 10 to the power 9. Well, and now what is divisions of 10 to the power 17 by 10 to the power 9? That is 10 to the power 8. And here we can notify the calculations becomes 225 multiplied by 10 to the power 8 divided by 125 multiplied by 6 to the power 6. Okay, now here we can see the points. What is 6 to the power 6? Well, now here what happens when your ring ends, when you ring an Indian doorbell. Now let's find the points and Indian doors bells. I have no problems about the Indians, but it would be white Indians and dark Indians. I contains the several problems. And now it is your question is out of topics, but uh, your joke is very good, and I appreciate your jokes. Okay, now here we can see what is 6 to the power 6. That is 45,656, and it would be round figure as 46,000. Okay, now let's check it. And here we can see the points. Here calculations is 225 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 divided by 46 multiplied by 125. Now let's check it. What is 46 multiplied by 125? Okay. Now here we can calculate as 4600 sum by 920, and here it sum by 230, and here we can see what is 230 sum by 20, that is 250. 250 sum by 900, it is 1150. Okay, 46 600, and here we can write at the significant points 5750, and here the calculations is 57 225 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 divided by 5750. As in round figures we can see the points. Well, 225 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 divided by 6000, and here the calculations is we can see 225 multiplied by 10 square divided by 6, and here we can see the moments. What is 225 divided by 6, and here we can see the points. 22 divided by 6, that is here 18 is, 3 multiplied by 6 is 18, and remainder is 4. Now let's calculate 44 divided by 6, and here we can see it is calculations. We can see the points 37 and 50 watts. And well, here we condense the calculations. Well, Tulsi Gabbard's here Tulsi Gabbard's F-16 fighter planes contains the kinetic powers almost 37.5 watts hertz. But here we can see. Now let's talk about the significant points. Okay, now Benjamin Netanyahu needs United States of Americans F-16 fighter planes with the kinetic powers of 22.5 trillion megawatts. But Tulsi Gabbard provide United States F-16 fighter planes with kinetic powers of 3750 watts, and that is the moment it is disturbing the watts. Particularly, it is disturbing Israeli Air Force to fight against Iranian revolutionary naval terrorists at Strait of Hormuz. And now here we can see that is the significant points. And here we could notify Benjamin Netanyahu would be ready to probably sue Tulsi Gabbard on Geneva International Judiciary Courts or International Criminal Courts of England. And that is the points we could notify. Well, wait a minute. Here we can see, here is the probable, the diplomatic relations between Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Trump is strong. Or I would say that here the diplomatic relations between Israel and United States President Donald Trump is strong. And now Donald Trump is elected President of United States of America in the base to stay against feminism. Hence here the probable point says Israeli Honorable Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu can sue Tulsi Gabbard on the Supreme Court of United States of America, where Supreme Court would be on Washington DC or in the Federal Court of Texas City or New York City or somehow the Chicago cities. And here that is the points we could disappoint. Okay, and now here we can see, let's find out. Well, now here we can see as the fuel system. What is Netanyahu F-16 fuel? That is artificial solar arc reactor with temperature of 400 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degree Celsius. Okay, and but on the other hand, Tulsi Gabbard F-16 fuel is petrol. Tulsi Gabbard's F-16 fuel is petrol. And now here we could say that is the significant negative points. Why Tulsi Gabbard's F-16 fuel is petrol? Because Tulsi Gabbard wants. Well, now here let's find out the Tulsi Gabbard's history. Well, Tulsi Gabbard joined the United States Army as a second lieutenant at the Bismillah years of Barack Hussein Obama, and she became a major at 2015. She became major, and from 2016 to 2021, in 5 years, Tulsi Gabbard remains major at the United States of American Army. In 2021, the Independence Days, Tulsi Gabbard became Lieutenant Colonel, where United States honorable president was Joe Biden, and in 2021, United States Vice President was Kamala Harris. And now here we can see the moments, that is the significant points. And it is the probable points that why Tulsi Gabbard required F-16 fuel as a petrol, where the today's era is artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. But still, here we would calculate artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 400 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius, because here we can notify artificial solar arc reactor. Here we contest lack of calculators. Okay. Now let's check it. And now here we can see Netanyahu fuel weights. Netanyahu F-16 fuel weights. Now, well, in the real times, artificial solar arc reactor contains specific heat of 15,408 joule per kilogram per Kelvin. But here I would calculate as a specific heat of, well, here I would calculate a specific heat of 20,000 joule per kilogram per Kelvin, because here I contains here lack of calculator device. And here now let's check it. What is calculations? Here calculation is 484 multiplied by 10 to the power 15 divided by 20,000 multiplied by 400 multiplied by 10 to the power 666. And now here we can see the points. What is 400? That is 4 multiplied by 10 square. What is 20,000? That is 2 multiplied by 10 to the power 4. Okay. Now here multiplication between 10 to the power 4 by 10 square is 10 to the power 6. Now what is the multiplication between 10 to the power 6 by 10 to the power 666? That is 10 to the power 672. Okay. And now here we can see the points. What is 10 to the power 672 divided by 10 to the power 15? That is 10 to the power 662 divided by 10 to the power 5. That is 10 to the power 657. And here we can say what is the calculations at the moment. Here calculations is 484 divided by 8 multiplied by 10 to the power 657. Okay. Now let's check it. What is 48 divided by 8? That is 6. And what is 4 divided by 8? That is 0.5. And here we can write here 60.5 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 657 kilograms of artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 400 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius that Benjamin Netanyahu's F-16 fuel weights requires. And now it is well, Israeli F-16 fighter planes. But when the topic is United States F-16 fighter planes, here what is the fuel would be that? The fuel would be at artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 400 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. And now here we can see the points. And here United States F-16 fighter planes would be with the kinetic powers of 22.5 trillion megawatts. Okay. Now here we can see 22.5 trillion megawatts at the momentums. That is the significant choice as we could see. Well, now let's get the points. What would be the United States F-16 fighter planes fuel weights as the calculations of Benjamin Netanyahu. Here we can see the points. 225 multiplied by 10 to the power 17 here, that can be divided by the bracket of 20,000 multiplied by 400 multiplied by 10 to the power 666, his bracket close. And now what is here 20,000 multiplied by 400 multiplied by 10 to the power 666, that is 8 multiplied by 10 to the power 672. Okay. Now let's check it the points. What is 672 subtract by 17? That is 662 subtract by 7. That is 655. Hi. Okay. Now here would be the calculations of 225 divided by bracket of 8 multiplied by 10 to the power 655. Bracket close. And now we can see that is the moments. What is 16 divided by 8? That is 2. And here what is the remainders? 22 subtract by 16, that is 6. And here we can calculate 65 divided by 8. What is 65 divided by 8? That is 64 divided by 8. That is 8. And here the remainder is 1. Well, 100 divided by 8 is 12.5. Hence 1 divided by 8 is 0.125. Okay. Now here calculations would be 28.125 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 655 kilograms of artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 400 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius as Benjamin Netanyahu requires of the United States F-16 fighter planes. But now here we can see that is the points. What Tulsi Gabbard provide the F-16 fighter planes? Well, Tulsi Gabbard provides F-16 fighter planes as a fuel system to be petrols. Okay. Now here we can see Tulsi Gabbard fuel volume. But well, and here now we know the density of fuel is 0.7778 kilogram per liters. Well, but here I would calculate petrol density as 0.8 kilogram per liters because I contains lack of calculator device. Okay. And here now let's check it. What is the calculations? That is here 225 multiplied by 10 to the power 17 divided by, okay, 50 square multiplied by 3600 square uh, multiplied by 0.8 multiplied by 100. Okay, now let's take it. What is 10 to the power 3 square? That is 10 to the power 6. What is 10 to the power 6 multiplied by 100? That is 10 to the power 8. Okay. Now what is 10 to the power 17 divided by 10 to the power 8? That is 10 to the power 9. Okay. And here we can write the nominal calculation is 225 multiplied by 10 to the power 9. Okay. Now what is 5 squares? That is 25. And what is here 36 square? That is 1296. And as a round figure we can write 13 hundredths. Okay. Now here we can 13 hundredths. And here calculations is 225 multiplied by 10 to the power 9 divided by bracket of 25 multiplied by 1300 multiplied by 0.8. And here calculations is 225 multiplied by 10 to the power 9 divided by bracket of 25 divided by 130 multiplied by 8, bracket close. And here that is we can say the points. What is 225 divided by 25? That is 9. And here, well, 9 divided by 8 is, well, 1 point something. Here I can, it is the similar, that's 1.2. Well, here I can calculate 1.2 multiplied by 10 to the power 9 divided by 13. And here we can see the moments. What is the round figures points? The round figures points we can see, well, 100 million liter, 100 million liter of petrol, and it is the significant moments. Well, now here we can see the points. Tulsi Gabbard fuel system is 100 million liter of petrols. Tulsi Gabbard provide F-16 fighter plane, United States F-16 fighter planes, where our honorable Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu requires honorable Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu requires the United States F-16 fighter planes, where with the fuel weight of 28.125 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 655 kilograms. I mean 28.125 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 655 kilograms of artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 400 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. And now it is the months that we could see, that is the notifications. And here's in that points we can notify the Tulsi Gabbard provides a Stone Age F-16 fighter planes, where this fighter F-16 fighter planes fuel system is in the era of the time of the dinosaur era. Well, When Tulsi Gabbard provided United States F-16 fighter planes with the dinosaur era fuel systems, hence here it is the probably points here Benjamin Netanyahu would sue Tulsi Gabbard in Geneva International Judiciary Court or London International Criminal Courts. Or probably here Israeli Honorable Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu would sue Tulsi Gabbard on Supreme Court of United States of America in Washington DC. And that is the points. Okay. And here we can say it is the moments of F-16 fighter planes. But what about the B-2 B-bar bombs? It is here we can notify about B-2 B-bar bombs. Okay. Now Benjamin Netanyahu regards B-2 B-bar bomb. I mean, well, why I am talking about bomb? Well, B-2 B-bar planes. B-2 planes with the velocity of 15,000 km per second, and it is the points 15,000 kilometers per second as a B-2 plane's velocity. But Tulsi Gabbard provide B-2 planes with the velocity of 100 km per hour. And what is the results? And result is just kind of shocking at the points. Well, United States B-2 planes can travel 12 days, 6 hours with the flying distance of 15,000 kilometers. And here, what is the movement at the points? When departure time is morning 6 o'clock, March 30, 2026, here arrival time would be what the points? April 11, 2026 and afternoon 12 o'clock. Yes, sir. And now here we can see the 12 o'clock at the morning points. Just forward a moment. Okay, now here I can see the moments at the points. Okay, and now here we can see B2 planes 12 o'clock, so and in the delays of 12 days 6 hours here Iranian revolutionary naval terrorists can be prepared to fight against United States B2 planes bombs. Or here we can see in the delay of 12 days 6 hours of United States B2 planes, here our wars between Israel versus Iran, particularly USA-Israel versus Iran's war, can be compromised. And in these points, here we could notify the Benjamin Netanyahu can sue whom? Well, Benjamin Netanyahu can sue Tulsi Gabbard at the Supreme Court of United States of America or the Supreme International Geneva Courts, because every nationalist country want to attack Iran. Every nationalist country want to be free from Iranian terrorists. and every Iranian innocent and peoples want to free from the Iranian revolutionary naval terrorists in Bandar Abbas, the port of Iran. And here, that is the moments we can see uh, Netanyahu's F-16 fuel weight is when Netanyahu's F-16 fuel weight is here we can see the points 60.5 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 657 kilograms of artificial solar arc reactor with a temperature of 400 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. Here B2 United States B2 planes contains some things like petrols. Okay. And here we can see about the velocity. Here I have mentioned times and velocity of United States B2 planes. Okay. Now let's condense the kinetic powers. Okay. Now let's check it. Well, the half of weight of B2 plane is 2 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 kilograms. Okay. And now Benjamin Netanyahu requires United States B2 planes with the kinetic powers of 45 trillion megawatts. But now let's take it the moments. Tulsi Gabbard provide B2 planes with the kinetic powers almost 75 watts. Where is 45 trillion megawatts and where is 75 watts? And here we can say in this the significant negative difference of B2 planes kinetic powers. Here we could see the Benjamin Netanyahu can sue Tulsi Gabbard on international court. And now, okay. And now here we can see that is the points. Well. Now let's check it. What is Benjamin Netanyahu's records as a United States B2 planes? That is artificial solar arc reactor with a temperature of 400 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. And now let's find out the points. Where is the calculations? The calculations would be 45 multiplied by 10 to the power 18 divided by 8 multiplied by 10 to the power 672 bracket close. And now let's see what is 672 subtract by 18, that is 662 subtract by 8, that is 654. Okay, here the calculation would be 45 divided by 8 divided by 10 to the power 654. Okay, now let's check it. What is 40 divided by 8? That is 5. But now what is 5 divided by 8? That is 0.6. And remainder is 2. Well, what is 2 divided by 8? That is 0.25. Okay. Now here we can see the points 0.25 well 5.825. Here the calculations would be 5.825 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 654 kilograms of artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 400 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. but requirement is 400 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. Hence, the weight would be 5.825 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 654 kilograms of artificial solar arc reactor with a temperature of 400 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. And it is the points we can see. But what is the United States B2 planes Tulsi Gabbard provide? Tulsi Gabbard provide B2 plane systems where fuel is petrol and the fuel volume is 200 million liters of petrols. Okay. Now here we can see these points. Well, one day cost is what is the one day cost? That is 32 million United States dollars. And what is 12 days cost? Well, now here we can see it is we can write 320 sum by 64. That is 384 million United States dollars as a empty expenditures. Now 384 sum by 200, that is 584. That means Tulsi Gabbard provides a B2 planes with the expenditure of 584 million liters of petrol. First, I mean 584 million United States dollars because of 200 million liters of petrols. And in this moments, here Tulsi Gabbard wants the war between USA, Israel versus Iran would be compromised, and that would take advantage for Iranian revolutionary naval terrorists. And that is the significant points. And now we could see what is the negativity. And negativity is too significant that we could not tolerate it at the moment. And here is the points that how is the way that Israeli Honorable Benjamin Netanyahu can sue United States National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard on Supreme Court of United States of America or international judiciary courts. And it is the points at the moment. Okay, now here I have mentioned the every points. Okay, now here I have mentioned the every points of B2 planes and here F-16 fighter planes. Now here we can see what if here is the moments. What about the Israeli points? Here Israel, if B2 planes would be owned by Israel, then what about the points? Here Israeli B2 planes would contain the velocity of 2200 km per second, because here distance between Tel Aviv versus Bandar Abbas is 22,000 kilometers. And now here we can see the moments terms. Well, as a significant points, here half of weight of Israeli B2 plane is 2 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 kilograms. And what is the moments? Here the calculations of Netanyahu B2 planes is 2 multiplied by 484 billion megawatts. Now what is 48 multiplied by 2, that is 96, and 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. Hence Benjamin Netanyahu's Israeli B2 planes contains the kinetic powers of 968 billion megawatts, where Tulsi Gabbard's B2 United States B2 planes contains kinetic powers of 75 watts. Okay, and here we can see that is the moments. Well. And here it is the points in that circumstance. Here, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu contains probable credibility to sue Tulsi Gabbard on international judiciary courts. Okay. Now the second point is here. Well, what if Israel contains B2 planes? Here, Israeli B2 planes fuel would be artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 400 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. Here, Netanyahu's B2 planes fuel weight would be almost 121 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 657 kilograms of artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 400 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. Yes. And that is the way. Okay. But Tulsi Gabbard unit provided United States B2 planes contains the fuel system that needs 200 million liters of petrols. And that is here we can see that is the significant points that how Tulsi Gabbard is compromising the war between USA, Israel versus Iranian revolutionary naval terrorist. And that is the moments in that compromisations Benjamin Netanyahu contains probable credibility to sue Tulsi Gabbard on international judiciary courts. Okay. Now here that is the points of B2 planes and F-16 fighter planes. Here that is my points, today's points to roast Tulsi Gabbard. Where I have mentioned here how Benjamin Netanyahu can sue Tulsi Gabbard. But the next live stream would be the points that how David Barnea can sue Tulsi Gabbard on the International Judiciary Court. See you the point. See you then. Till Khuda Hafiz. Love you.